Welcome back to the Voice of Metal, where we talk about all things metal or the voices of metal. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming in, stopping by. Thanks for watching the other videos. Thanks for subscribing. We appreciate it. Um, all I know is I think metal is definitely coming back for sure because of the fact that there's been a lot of bands that have been around back in the 80s, 90s that have not been around for a while. And I think it's coming full circle. I think there's bands that are bringing out not only new tours, they're remastering old music, but they're also bringing out new albums. Nonetheless, Biohazard. I don't know if anybody's heard about this, but I just found this out myself not too long ago. And it's been a little while since June 8th, I guess, is when they posted this. But it's rather interesting. The original members of Biohazard are coming back. And, you know, for me, when I was growing up, like I said before, and I'll say it again, a lot of stuff I listened to on the radio, so I didn't know all the metal bands, but I did listen to Headbangers Ball on MTV. And that was the go to place for learning about, well, for me anyway. I don't know about anybody else. Somebody else might have more connections than I did growing up. But when I wanted to listen to a new band or a band that I didn't know that much about, at least it was new to me at the time, like Biohazard, like Sepultura, like some of the other bands that are out there that are really, really good. Um, I'm trying to think of some of the other ones I used to listen to, but I can't remember now, with them all off the top of my head. Probably even Obituary, and I just don't remember it, which I recently kind of discovered because of somebody. I didn't discover it, somebody told me about them. So they've been around for a very long time, like some other bands. Um, this is they're going to be their first show in 12 years, which is kind of crazy. And they're also going to be recording a new album. So I'm kind of stoked and psyched about that because I know some of their songs. I don't know every one of their songs, and I need to probably listen to those again, and some probably that I've never heard of. But yeah, this is be kind of cool to hear something new from a band that hasn't been around for 12 years. It's like Sacred Reich. I saw them play live with Sepultura, and it was crazy that the one, sorry, the bass player that was playing with them was, well, let's put it this way. When I heard about this is rather interesting, is the bass player that originally plays with the band, his health was not the best and probably will not be able to, he said he won't be able to play anymore, which is saddens me to see that because to me, any musical artist that's not doing so well with their health and this and the other, or even their family, like Clown's wife being sick, it's not good for not only the fans, but also the family members, the people that we all know and love. And how you say, pay my respects to both of those people because they are very wonderful people. And I'm hoping that maybe something will happen to where either they get better or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't sound like the bass player from Sacred Reich's going to be in it much better. But anyway, the reason why I'm saying this is because he mentioned that the bass player that they have now is as old as the last time they basically put out their last album, which says a lot. So here they are, they're touring years later. This guy's in his 20s, right? So it's like 20 years later or something. Or maybe he was a little kid. I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was pretty impressive. And here he is playing with these guys that have been around since, I mean, haven't released an album out since he was born, literally. And it's kind of crazy to hear that, but it's true because these guys are getting up there in age, and so is Clown and his wife, and um, several other bands. Even I'm sure the guys from Biohazard are pretty up there in their age too. Judging from the picture I see, it looks like they're getting up there with that. I don't know all their names, unfortunately. I know there's a Bobby. Vocalist Billy, guitarist Bobby, drummer Danny, and Evan is the I guess bass vocalist. So maybe he does background vocals, which is really cool. Um, this is one thing he had. They actually had some of the stuff he was talking about when they were doing this interview. And I'd like to read that to you guys because I think it's really interesting. Because there's one thing on here that I believe there's a few things that I believe that are very important because it kind of spoke to me personally, especially about goals and things in life and having regrets and stuff like that. And I just want to share that with you guys because this is from him. What is his name? Billy. I'm assuming he says sometimes the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Reuniting with Biohazard after 12 years and seeing what we have all accomplished on our own. Many incredible things, and now so hopeful, optimistic, and excited for this new chapter where once again all things are possible if you believe. So, which is amazing, right? We're going to write a new album, release a documentary film. I forgot about that. With our brother, creating a new branded line of merchandise. Of course, tour of the world. The only thing consistent in this life is change. This is a part. Some of the parts that the last part of this is really cool. I like this part. At one point in my life, I had closed the chapter on Biohazard, thinking there was nothing left for me to do or accomplish, and now I see so many possibilities because of the energy when the four of us are together is boundless. 4 kids from Brooklyn who went from the street corner and festival main stages, arenas, and stadiums. Biohazard sold millions of albums, played thousands of concerts in hundreds of countries around the world. This was my life education. I thought that was really cool to see the entire world as an ambassador of positivity with my music in our metal, our hardcore, and even hip hop styles. All of the incredible human connections I have made and all of the emotions that I've experienced that have helped shape me for who I am today. And that speaks volumes because to me, that's what this is about. That's what the Voice of Metal is about. That's what I want to talk about. That's what I want to get to know all the people and all the bands and feel and experience how they feel and they perceive things, and I'll know more about who they are as a person. So this right here spoke to me tremendously. And I'm hoping that all of you guys feel the same way I do about it, because without you guys, this won't grow. And I want this to continue because I see endless possibilities with the channel. I see endless possibilities with the people and the bands we all know and love, and all the people that are a part of that. And even the people that you might not see, the people like the stagehands, the sound people, the people that move all the gear and get it tuned and get it ready for the concerts that we all know and love. Sorry, I get a little emotional on this one. What I realized today is that every day is a new beginning. And if you feel stuck in your life, just know that you are 1 second away from completely changing your life. Believing in something new, putting your heart and passion, which I believe right now that I'm doing for all you guys, and your soul is something you care about, or sometimes even just loving someone or yourself, meaning loving somebody that you really deeply care for, and you're wanting to express that to them, which actually that's another reason why I'm doing this, because it's not just about the passion from the music I love. Also, there's somebody out there that I know that I care about very deeply, and I know we've had some, I don't know, things happen, but anyway, I'm not going to get into that. When we carry around resentments, it's almost always an overreaction to our ego. Resentment is our number one defender. It only hurts us. Offender, sorry. Resentment is our number one offender. It only hurts us. In other words, your resentments, your egos, you can't put your own personal ego in front of what you really cherish and love in life. That means not only your friends, your family, the loved ones that you cherish, the people that you feel that you belong with, and not the ones that you don't. You know, that speaks volumes. And hearing him say that, just, reading this just makes me feel that way about it. It feels like this passion, this love of what I enjoy most is listening to this music and even getting to talk to some of the people in the bands. I really do appreciate that. And every time I've listened to different members of different bands very closely and learning about them as a person, as an individual, means so much to me. And when you take that information, that person's life story, and you put it together with their music and their passion and their style, that speaks volumes, I think. Personally, I think that's very powerful. It's a very positive message. I think it's very important. Just like Sacred Reich, that's what I was talking about before. At that concert, when there was this starting to break out, the guy said, look, we're here to enjoy the music. We're here to love each other, take care for each other. Basically, look, we've got each other's back. We're one big metal family. So don't argue. Don't fight. Don't get into arguments. If I have to, I'll come down there and kick your ass myself, he says, which is pretty much it. So I don't care what I have to do it. So I might kill myself in the process, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure that this concert is being enjoyed by everybody here. And I think that speaks a lot. Just like Chad, he wanted everybody to introduce themselves to the guy to the left and the right of him and say, thanks for being here. Thanks for being, I forgot exactly what he said, but he was basically say, greet your fellow metal family member, and I thought that was kind of cool. And it speaks volumes. And when he says stuff like that, and he says it, I've seen some of his interviews and some of the things he talks about on YouTube and even on Instagram, where he talks about different things that happened to him, which he did hurt himself on stage this one time because he kind of fell back and there was nothing there to catch a note. Basically, there was a security, gap there with the fence to protect the band from, the fans, a little bit, because it gets a little crazy down in the pit. But he said there wasn't anybody there. He was back and he fell back. So hopefully he's doing well. He's still continued with the show, and that speaks volumes too. That dedication and stuff like that, what you are passionate about. Which reminds me, talk about passion. There is a movie that I had just recently seen called Whiplash, which is like Metallica's song. And if you listen to it, it kind of reminds you of another song a little bit, but the movie itself is about this musician's passion for being the person that is playing the drums, and the passion for being there, being dedicated to it. And he even broke up with his girlfriend, literally, because he said, you're too much of a distraction for me, which, that's some dedication. And even one part in the scene, he got literally hit with a big old semi, flipped his car upside down that he had rented. He had just rented because I forgot something happened where he couldn't. Something happened to his transportation to getting there, so he ended up renting a car to get there. And it rolled over. He was bleeding all over his face and half unconscious. He still ran down to where he's supposed to be in order to be there, because he said, if you're not here seated and this seat playing the drums, this person is going to take your spot. And I thought, wow. And he did all that. And then later on, the whole story kind of unfolds later on about this, that, and the other. But I will say this much. It's a very powerful message about the dedication, loyalty that people have for their music and passion and the love that they have for it. And yeah, and just like this with Billy, I think that's who says this, Billy. Um, I'm not sure how to say his last name, so I'll have to figure out how to say that. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. So they had some really great music. I know that the ones that I did hear were phenomenal. I don't remember it because it's been so many years ago. It's probably been way over 12 years ago because I'm 50 now, and I was in high school when I heard them. Probably I was probably 19, I would say. So that's almost 30 years ago. So it's been a while. So I just want to say thanks for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it, and don't forget to do that, because resentment is your number one offender, and it only hurts us. Basically, make sure that you don't have any regrets in your life or resentments, because you don't know what you might have had or you might have later on. Um, that reminds me also with this, with all the concerts and all the places that they've been. Also, the lead singer from Ivan from Five Finger Death Punch, where he announced in Denver, where he's from, which I got to see in person with Megadeth playing there, that he was announcing his retirement to spend more time with his kids. I'm sure eventually, maybe later on down the road, when they get older, then he might come back eventually. Who knows? But it's kind of like me. I spent most of my X amount of years from my son's birth all the way up till just recently, the last few years, spending time with my son. And now I'm going to some of those shows that I didn't get to do when he was younger, and enjoying those concerts now with him, and the love of the music that I have, and the love of music that he is learning about and has learned about. And he's learned a lot about different types of music, like metal and old classic rock, and with Hendrix and Beatles and Def Leppard, no, Led Zeppelin, and all those people, and even Slayer and Lamb of God. I mean, we're talking everything: Obituary, Metallica, Slipknot, even all these other bands that I like, and he doesn't know that well. But he also even listens to some of the newer stuff that I've been listening to, which I'm glad that he does. He might not like all of it, but you never know. It might change his interests in that. So we'll see what happens. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys, and don't forget to think about what he has to say. Think about some of the words that he was talking about, because I think he's totally right on that. I really do. And it kind of got me right here in the heart. It's just that passion, that love. Anyway, I will thank you and say goodnight. And please, 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 please don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to like the videos, because without you guys, I'll have my own, how you say, resentments, maybe for not getting it accomplished like I hoped. So you're helping me out too, and my passion for it. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you to my metal family out there, and all the musicians that make the wonderful music that we all know and love. Have a good night. Thanks again. Voice of Metal signing off. Take care. Have a good night.